Hey everyone, Melissa here, creator and founder at Find Your Own Drive, and I'm in today with a powerful message about how we think is what we create for our future and for our lives. And it took me a long time to really understand this process. And as I went out today during my lunch hour, I went to the journal section. I just, the office supply section, and I always look at their journals because in some of the dollar stores you can find some really inexpensive and cute journals, and I find that I like to write, and I usually use memo pads or something, but a journal is pretty special too. So I bought one today that captured my attention that says every thought creates your future. And I'm a big fan of purple. This is kind of purpley pink, but the gold. And so I have plenty of pages to write in here. And the intention that I set when I purchased this journal was getting back into the habit of writing down my gratitude list. At one point I shared with you about, write 3 things that you're grateful for at the end of the day and try not to repeat it each night. And start thinking about things outside of the traditional things you're supposed to be grateful for. We forget about indoor plumbing and that our lungs work efficiently and that the sun came up every morning, and that we're just here and alive. And it really is a great practice to get into, because when you can put your mind, when your mind's creating in a positive vibration, then you bring more positive things towards you. And that's the part of the law of attraction. It really does happen that way. And if you're familiar with your own story, or even listening to someone's story, if they talk about being sick all the time, or if they talk about missing work all the time, or they talk about they never get a break, that nothing ever goes in their favor, and that seems to be their same story, then that's an indication that they're on a low vibration and that they are using their thoughts to continually to create those same experiences. But when we can pause and think to ourselves, you know what, things aren't as good as I would hope for them to be, but I know they're going to get better, because I know if I change my mindset, if I start thinking positively, and I know that's kind of a touchy thing, but it really will. And the thinking positively is just making better choices in the words that you use or the language, because just like this says, every thought creates your future. It's the way you see things. People are going through a lot more than what you're experiencing. What you think is difficult and a struggle, to someone else, they would love to have your problems. For instance, the clerk at the store I was at today, as I was checking out, she asked how I was. I told her I was great. I said, how are you? And she gave me a really low, energetic, okay. And I paused for a minute, and I could have let that go, and she started ringing up the items, but I felt like I needed to say more to her. And I said, just okay, huh? And she said, well, no, it's not even that good. And I was like, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. And so she paused a few minutes more, and I just kept looking at her, and she, mentioned there was some issues with the money at the store from last night. I'm like, okay. Not thinking that, that's too big of a deal, that was heavy on her mind. And then she opened up. She was like, but that's really not all of it. I think my son's back on drugs. Whoa. And he had me arrested, and I'm going to have to go to a court hearing. And he is in my home that I inherited from my father, and he's been there for 3 weeks, and squatters have more rights than I do as an individual. And it just, I did get my dog. It just was like hit me to the core. To see this woman, probably my age or older, in this situation, one, dealing with a child with drugs. I know that experience all too well. It hits home with our family member, other family members. Also knowing that she's been out of her house for 3 weeks, not knowing what to do, having to go to court. I'm sure there's expenses she didn't expect to have to pay. I mean, just all of that. And then to top it off, at her job, the money situation, with the registers last night. So I'm not saying she can erase all that with her mind thinking, but the thing is she needs to start creating those greener pastures. She needs to start stepping into, that's awful that I'm saying she needs to, but ideally you would step into being able to create a better story around that. Now, unfortunately, the phone rang and she looked at it and said, oh, it's the bank again. And I wasn't able to talk to her or say any more to her, but I left. But I did leave with gratitude. When I left, I thought of several things. What is this for me to know and experience, for that conversation to happen? Because we don't know each other. And that's the thing I encourage you to do, is when you have a situation that you're in conversation, think about when you walk away from it, or even when you're engaged in it, how is this serving you and how is that serving that other person? For her to be able to offload her emotions to me at that moment, knowing that I was sincerely holding space for her, allowing her to let me receive the information for her, I know that that released some of her heaviness. I realized that, you know, even though she felt that way, I could feel the exchange, that there was a little bit of letting that go, that someone listened to her and got the message loud and clear. And for me, I remember that I'm not always in a place that I want to be, but there's people that have a lot more challenges and difficulties than what I'm experiencing right now. And so you can only send them love and light and hope that the answers will come for them, that the awareness and the awakening will happen for them to make choices that are going to start leading them on a much better path, a path of joy, happiness, and love. Because being where they are, it is not in service to themselves or anyone else around them. So I'm hoping that my connection with her that after that was that the rest of the customers coming up, she might have felt a little bit better. I'm hoping the money issue got resolved, and I do hope that things will open up for her son to get the support that he needs and for her to be able to get back into her home. So see how that's just like, I'm sending that up to the universe. I don't know her from Adam, but I want to be able to offer that to other people, that exchange of giving and receiving, because opening my heart up to her was allowing me to open up her heart a little more. And when I started the video, I talked about my intention was I purchased this journal because I wanted to start my gratitude. And I truly felt that in that conversation with her was the engagement. Like that was my awareness that, oh, thank you, universe. You're showing me already my first entry in this is going to be that story. It's going to be about that experience that I had. Because in gratitude, that it worked in a way that it was a good exchange for both of us, and also a good reminder for myself as I continue to follow my path and lead others and giving you guidance and support along the way. So I hope that that information is in service to you. I encourage you to buy you a really nice journal, something pretty, and if not, just buy something small and jot down things that you're in gratitude of throughout your day, or at the end of the day, or at the beginning of the day. Anytime is good, even if it's just one thing. And like I told you in previous conversations, thank you, thank you, thank you. That goes a long way. And also, when you say, I am, you know, happy and grateful, out of this situation only good will come. I mean, find your mantra. Find something that's going to support you when you feel heavy and down and that the conversation is just too much and you just need some inner guidance. Let that be the way that you find your peace of mind, and also being able to share that with others as well as you train yourself to do better, support them and teaching them how to do the same thing. So hope that has all been beneficial to you and clear. I did want to mention the picture that I posted yesterday about the doors about to open. Don't get left behind. Keep following me, because I am working on a curriculum that has like all kinds of juicy ideas and how we can come together as a group and be able to get you moving forward much faster in your dreams and your desires, and teach you about the law of attraction and how you can manifest things. So I hope you'll stay tuned. Always, if you want to drop a comment below or private message me, I'm here to help you and serve you in any way that I can. So as always, much love and light. Talk to you soon.